What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. Today's video, we're taking a look at a super spicy core in the Open Great League with a Hisuian Electrode and Quagsire, and Shadow Nidoqueen in the back as the save switch to draw out those things that Quagsire probably doesn't want to see. So, super spicy team came up on my Patreon live stream, and we did that last Saturday. If you want to join a Patreon live stream and also be a part of the Patreon Discord where you get early access to all my stuff, teams, meta-analysis, etc., check the description and the pinned comment for information on that and how you can support the channel, as well as, you know, my family. They're all getting all the benefits of this whole YouTube's thing. So let's go ahead and jump right into the battles here, and let's see what Hisuian Electrode can do against this Clefable. Now we've got a better answer to Clefable in the back in the form of our Nidoqueen. So what I'm going to do here, actually, so I'm going to go for the Wild Charge, and I'm going to drop into my Quagsire as the save switch, I believe, so I can try and catch a Meteor Mash is what I was trying to do here. Now, whether or not I actually successfully catch the Meteor Mash, I don't. Moonblast does a fair amount of damage, but Quagsire is going to start going to town on energy, and my opponent comes in with an Umbreon. Super neutral swap. I like Umbreon in this current meta, as long as you can keep it off. Even the Metachamps aren't safe against it. So this looks like that might be their hardest answer to a ground type, which is good. I mean, that's good for my Nidoqueen here. Now, typically Nidoqueen is the save swap, but if the opponent's lead is much weaker to Nidoqueen than my Quagsire, I'll be much more inclined to drop the Quagsire in there. Now, yes, I know that there are definitely some things that could certainly could, break this team apart. Most of them being of the grass type. Nidoqueen itself also is a bit of a problem, but I mean, honestly, we did just play this team on a bit of a whim, so I'm surprised it did as well as it did, after the fact. But we'll certainly take the results and let you see for yourself how many Noctowl and Lanturn cores we beat with this team. Shout outs to Be Richly and Sir Breezy in my Discord for being the two that put this team together with me on the stream. Nidoqueen is going to be able to just demolish this poor little Hitmonchan here. Even though it's running Ice Punch, I'm just hoping that I get to farm it down before they get their Ice Punch off. And if they got to another Ice Punch, I was done. But Nidoqueen is going to be able to just farm down the Umbreon and then farm down the Clefable. That's going to be a good game. Well played to the opponent. Completely clapping their Clefable in the process. Which Clefable with Fairy Wind looks like a very strong Pokemon. So nice. Now this is what we like to see. We got a Lanturn, and they come in with a Metachamp, so I'm going to immediately respond with my Nidoqueen. In the 2 shields, Nidoqueen can still put a hurtin' on these Metachamps and stuff, etc. I hate saying stuff, but I mean, you know what I mean. So Nidoqueen is going to go through. We're going to shield here. My opponent may throw an Ice Punch here, but I'm not going to decide to shield. I'm going to shielding either way. I'm not going to try and find out if they're going to run Ice Punch or Psychic. I'm just going to shield regardless and continue into the next matchup with the HP that I've got, because Lanturn is going to have to throw a Surf here in order to take me out. I'm going to continue farming up to the Earth Power to force them to throw that Surf, and then come back in with my Electrode and see what my opponent wants to do from there. Now knowing that my Quagsire and Electrode are both having a great time. Look, my opponent comes with a Noctowl, and you know what? This is exactly what we wanted to see. A lot of people like running their super meta picks. Look at this team of Lanturn, Medi, Noctowl, ripped apart by Hisuian Electrode. My opponent not gonna let that through, but I have double Wild Charge here, and then my Quagsire can come in and go for a Stone Edge at this point. And with the damage that came through with those Thunder Shocks, that should put it in range close to for the Stone Edge to go and do some damage here, and hopefully come close to taking him out, honestly, too. Stone Edge is going to come through. Doesn't quite take out the Noctowl. And at this point, honestly, what I'm looking to do, knowing how much damage they have left, I'm going to force them to go for another Sky Attack. Obviously, I can't shield at this point because I've already shielded enough. I can't shield anymore. However, what I can do is I can let them get me down to as little HP as possible so that that Lanturn can't get any extra farm off of me. And then I'm going to come in with my Hisuian Electrode after they take me out with their Spark, or their, Spark. And then go for the the Energy Ball, I should say. Brain is going faster than my mouth, man. Jeez. So Energy Ball is going to take out the Lanturn, and that's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent. I love when I can break it. Just a pure full meta team like that. Opponent's got a Pelipper on the lead, and they come in with a Jellicent. I'm like, trainer, this is not This is not a response to Hisuian Electrode. So I'm going to go for the Energy Ball here. And my opponent lets it go and throws on 4. So I'm like, this is a Surf. But no, it's one of these poor souls thinking that Bubble Beam is still a good move. Please TM away Bubble Beam. Surf is so much better. I'm going to go for the Wild Charge here. This is still going to do a respectable amount of damage. And then I can just come in with my Nidoqueen and start Poison Fanging and Poison Jabbing and doing what Nidoqueen does. I'm going to be able to get to this Poison Fang, which was recently buffed, got a slight extra bump and boost of power, as did Mudshot, and Quagsire recently got Mudshot as well. Opponent's going to come back in with the Pelipper, and I'm going to be able to force them to throw a move here. This is an easy, just come in with the Electrode and let Quagsire finish the job sort of situation here. I could honestly just farm this thing down if I wanted to. But we're just gonna play this safe. You know, I don't need to go too crazy. I will throw an Energy Ball to know that I'm taking out this Pelipper or getting a shield from them, and then I'm gonna leave everything up to their Altaria with my full HP Quagsire. I get a shield here. I come in, go for the Stone Edge, and that's gonna basically be a good game to my opponent now. So Quagsire is actually thick enough. I would honestly play a Shadow if I had one. Unfortunately, I do not have a Shadow. I was not out battling rockets during Wooper Watch like 2.5 years ago because I was taking care of my kids and spending time with my family, which is what I prefer to do rather than go out and play a 2-hour event in the middle of the evening at like 8 o'clock at night. Just no. So I'm hopeful that Niantic brings back Wooper in Shadow battles, rocket battles this coming event. I think it's at the end of June. So we hit an Obstagoon lead here. So I know that their Night Slash Cross Chop really don't do a ton of damage, so I'm going to soak one of those, eat it, and then go for the Wild Charge. I'm either going to get a shield from my opponent here, or they're going to let this go, and then I'm going to pop in with my Nidoqueen, and then I'm going to start going to town on their Obstagoon. Now they come in now with a Medicham, and I'm wondering, okay, is this triple counter? What is this? Because this is extremely weak to Charm. So they've got to have something in the back that can either beat Charm or it's another counter user. I'm not going to mess around once again. I'm just going to go for a shield here. I don't want to find out how much damage an Ice Punch does to my Nidoqueen at this point. I'm pretty sure that Nidoqueen like barely lives an Ice Punch, but I don't care to find out right now. I would much rather eat an Obstagoon charge move. They're going to go for a Night Slash here, it looks like. And the Night Slash is going to net them a boost. And the boost now terrifies me. Thankfully, I am still able to get to the Poison Fang here to either take out the Obstagoon, or not take it. I won't take it out from that range, but I get a shield off of them, which is really nice. So the Hisuian Electrode's not going to get to a move here before they get to the next Night Slash. So I actually come with my Quagsire, and I am just hopeful that this is going to be enough of, some damage to take out with this Mud Bomb. I will shield this next one. And actually, my opponent now is going to come straight in after. Well, they don't come straight in. Obstagoon is going to eat a Mud Bomb. Is this going to be enough to KO? Yes, thankfully it is going to be enough to KO. And there's the Registeel. I thought for some reason I thought that they swapped instead of letting me take out their goon. So I have to do something really risky here, and this really takes some mastery of catching moves. And that I was able to count the lock-ons and know that they were exactly 6 away from the Focus Blast, and I was able to catch the Focus Blast on my Electrode and now farm up safely to 2 Mud Bombs, which I don't know if 1 Mud Bomb KOs or I might need 2, but I wanted to get to 2 just in case, but 1 was more than enough, and that's going to be a good game. Well played. Now that's something that takes some practice, and I'm really, really good at teaching and coaching about that kind of thing. On my Metafy, you can check me out on Metafy for some coaching tips, as well as just general gameplay mechanics, etc., helping you get to that next level in gameplay. I have to shield this because a Poison Fang would hurt a lot with a triple defense drop. Maybe not quadruple, I don't remember how much it is, but I go into Nidoqueen here, just trying to make something happen. Come with Golisopod, which is interesting to me. But yeah, lock-on counting is difficult, but it is definitely something that I can teach, and that's why I put that out there, because I want to help people reach their goals. So Liquidation comes from Golisopod and absolutely just one-shots my poor little Nidoqueen, but it's going to let me get a nice hefty farm down with the Electrode, which is going to be nice, and that's what I go for here. I feel like I probably should have gone for a switch there. But I mean, I'm not going to get much out of my Nidoqueen when the Golbat comes back in. So I let it go. I let the Shadow Ball go. My opponent has a Vigoroth. And so yeah, this was kind of weird. So I have to be able to KO them with a Mud Bomb and a Stone Edge here in order to make anything happen. And even then, it's really risky. But we're going to go for the Mud Bomb. Does, you know, a respectable amount, but I know that the next Mud Bomb is not going to KO. So at 4 counters, I'm going to throw this Stone Edge because I probably don't win CMP. And so the Stone Edge leaves. It's so close, dude. Just a smidge. Just a wee smidge. And the Body Slam takes out my Quagsire. And so because of that counter damage, I am not going to be able to get to this Wild Charge before the Golbat takes me out. And that's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent. They did kind of counter me, but like once again, you know, I'm running Spice. So yeah, what am I going to do about this, dude? So Shadow Alone Marowak with Hex is going to come in. And my opponent counter swaps me with a Froslass. I'm running ABA Ghost. Or maybe Triple Ghost, I don't know. But Earth Power connects on the Froslass, and actually from back from the day of playing Nidoqueen a lot, when it was in its heyday with the 35 energy Poison Fang, I know that I can win this matchup by just farming down after that if they do let the Earth Power go. So I do decide to make that happen, and now I'm going to go for the Marowak. My opponent comes with Marowak. I thought they were running Fire Spin up until this point, but thankfully they lost count. And they went straight for a shield. Now, I made a bit of a mistake there, and I tried to go for the Earth Power afterwards. Now, I should have just pulled the trigger on the Poison Fang right before going down, but I thought I could make it. I couldn't. So now my opponent comes in with a Credilli. I leave with some energy on my Quagsire, and honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do here. I have to go for Energy Ball, but like, my Electrode's not having a great time right now. So I'm going to go for the Electrode's Energy Ball to do some neutral damage here and not drop my defenses because, you know, Wild Charge is still resisted. But if I can get to a Wild Charge here, I'm going to go for it. So, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, even though this is when I get the move, it's still with good timing. And that's going to allow me to throw this Wild Charge. And my opponent probably hopes they can tank it, but they cannot. And then the Marowak comes back in, and I just need to get to 2 Mud Bombs before they get to 2 moves. And they were not at 2 moves, thankfully. So that's going to allow me to get to this Mud Bomb because I still have a shield. They win CMP, but I can shield this up and throw the Mud Bomb back and take the game, and that's going to be it. That was sweaty. I'm not going to lie. A lot of the games that I played with this team were kind of sweaty just because I'm playing a spicy team that, you know, I mean, this is what happens when you play Spice sometimes. You have to try and outplay the things that you see. Like a G-Fisk. How the heck am I supposed to deal with this, right? So what I do here is I actually stay in and I go for an Energy Ball. And then I'm going to force them to, you know, if they stay in too, that's fine with me. I'm expecting they probably have something like a flyer in the back. Probably Noctowl. That's pretty adorable. Excuse me. Late recording again. It's 12:16 a.m. right now. Earthquake is going to connect and do a lot of damage to my Electrode, but I am going to go ahead and just go for the Energy Ball here. My opponent doesn't shield, which means that they're going to go for the move at the same time as I do, and winning CMP here means that I can let this go down and then farm down with Quagsire. Now, opponent goes for a Rock Slide here. Not going to do a lot of damage to Quagsire. The fact that you're giving me this farm in general is a very bad thing for them, but Quagsire with a lot of energy is still dangerous. My opponent comes in with Cresselia, and at this point, I feel like I'm kind of screwed. So, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do some chip damage here. We're going to go for a Stone Edge. We're going to bring it down. And then I'm going to hope that they're running Grass Knot Moonblast. Most Cress are running Grass Knot Moonblast. I think you know what's about to happen, though, because I said that. And because I said that, of course, they're running Future Sight, and I'm about to get beamed out of existence. Yep, there it is. Just because I have Nidoqueen on my team, and then my opponent just, like, at this point, I'm just like, you know what, dude? Unless you got Registeel in the back or something that my Quag can beat, I'm done. And then my opponent decides to show me the Deoxys. Yeah, there was a disappointment. There was a wave of disappointment from me on the stream at this point. So I'm just gonna throw as much Mud Bombs at this thing as I can. My opponent's got 2 shields. There's not really a whole lot I can do here. They still have a Cresselia. I still have a Quagsire that has way too much ground to cover, no pun intended. But before it can make anything happen. So I just no shield, and I'm like, okay, just throw your Psycho Boost. I'm done. You can have it. My opponent stops tapping for some reason. I just put the phone down for a minute to like rub my eyes or something. I just... Electrode into Nidoqueen. This is a really, really bad lead. So I swap into my Quagsire here for some reason. I think I should have swapped into Nidoqueen, but my opponent comes in with an Umbreon, which is interesting. But I'll take it. So my opponent actually goes out with some energy, and Umbreon is going to throw a move here. Now, this is a very slow matchup. You know, obviously my moves aren't doing a whole ton of damage, and neither are theirs. I don't actually know off the top of my head if Mud Bomb or Stone Edge is the more efficient move to run here, but I usually just kind of go for a Stone Edge when I don't think they're going to shield and I want to get a little bit of extra chip damage. Once they're this low, I feel pretty confident that Mud Bomb is definitely the way to go. And if I can win Switch here, I mean, I don't really know that winning Switch is really important. I would like one of two things to happen. I would like to get a shield here, or I would like the chance to... You'll get some farm on my Nidoqueen or something, put it ahead of their Nidoqueen. My opponent now comes in with a Scrafty, punches down my poor unsuspecting Quagsire, but I'm able to come in now with my Nidoqueen and start getting ahead on energy of their Nidoqueen, because I imagine they're probably going to want to either save their Nidoqueen for my Electrode, or they're going to end up bringing it in at some point to try and get me to throw energy, you know, bait, do some shenanigans. So I'm perfectly happy with them staying in here, because that's going to allow my Nidoqueen to basically start getting ahead on energy like we talked about. And also, I'd much rather see my Nidoqueen against the Scrafty. So the defense drop here, and I know that they cannot one-shot my Electrode, and thanks to the Thunder Shock, even though they were almost at an Earth Power when they came in and threw that move, I will still be able to get to a Energy Ball here, which is going to do actually quite a lot of damage. And that hurts. And Nidoqueen comes in and Poison Jabs down. They were not at a move, and because of that one Poison Jab, going to be able to get to a move. Take out this Scrafty against all odds, against a really, really nasty lead, and swapping in my Quagsire. My opponent gets taken out by Nidoqueen Double Dark, which is a team that I created like many seasons ago. So the audacity of you coming to me with this team that I created, like, thank you. Now, next game we've got a Sableye lead. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but like Sableye's eyes were like, they must have updated it or something. That thing is super shiny, super cool looking. So I'm going to go double up on Wild Charges here, and I'm going to throw one and switch, because if I throw two, I'm going to just lose my Electrode. And I see Sableye lead, and I expect double ice. So I swap out my Nidoqueen, expecting to draw out a Dugong or something of the sort. And so I do. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the Earth Power, because I'm only getting one move off here, and I'd much rather it be the Earth Power, because they may not shield it. And thankfully they don't. So, but I can't really come in with my Electrode here. So, because I don't really have a switch clock that I can wait out, I just come in with the Quagsire. I leave my Electrode alive, so that it can reset the debuff that I'm going to get on my Quagsire, and I CMP tie the Dugong with a Mud Bomb to force them to either shield or take a lot of damage off of their the rest of their Dugong. So I shield up this Icy Wind because I do need to keep my Quagsire somewhat healthy, and I'm just going to go for a Mud Bomb here with good timing, making sure that I'm throwing in the middle of their fast move so they can't catch the Mud Bomb on something else. So I'm expecting there to be a Sand Slash in the back. That's just kind of how this team looks. I've seen a few YouTube videos, you know, Sableye doubles ice is normal, and there's the Sand Slash right on cue. My Quagsire is going to come in, go for these Mud Bombs, and that's basically going to be a good game. I'm going to build up the double Mud Bomb because I know I can, and then just throw them both, and that's it. My opponent doesn't have any shields. I know one Mud Bomb probably won't be enough to KO the Sand Slash, so two will definitely do it, and that's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent, but that team read was crucial. Me seeing the Sableye, immediately recognizing that they may have double ice in the back. Otherwise, I would never have swapped my Nidoqueen into a Sableye like that, to be honest. So, team reading does sometimes get you those wins, just like that. So, Talonflame on the lead. Now, this is an interesting one. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and throw my Wild Charge right before they're going to be able to get to the their first Flame Charge or Brave Bird. Going to get a shield, and then immediately pivot into my Nidoqueen. My opponent goes for an extra one here. Now, this tells me that they're probably going to go for Flame Charge, because they're just one away from the next Flame Charge, which makes a lot of sense to me for them to go for that Flame Charge. So I'm going to no shield the first move, which is ballsy, but then shield the second one because it's the Flame Charge. And then they're going to come in with a G-Fisk, and I'm going to go for Earth Power because I do not bait in this matchup. Like, I'm going to go straight Earth Power. If they counter swap a G-Fisk into me, I'm just going to go straight for the Earth Power, and they're either going to eat it or you're not. Because I don't really have a way to win this matchup otherwise. Opponent goes for the Rock Slide, and now my Quagsire is going to come in and start getting a massive farm down. And I'm going to throw this Mud Bomb on the CMP just to prevent them from getting this Earthquake unless they want to put their next shield down on it, which most of them won't. So with this extra energy, this is going to allow me to start getting the Stone Edges, and with as good timing as I can possibly do. 4 is about the max you can get before that happens. I'm going to take out the Stone Edge. That's going to KO at least 15 Talonflames, and then they have a Shadow Machamp in the back, which is really awkward for my Quagsire and my Electrode, but they let the Mud Bomb go. I was kind of hoping they would shield so I could come in with my Electrode and get to a Wild Charge, but for some reason we get some lag and I can't hit my Mud Bomb. So sucks to suck, I guess, on my part. So at this point, I've got a shield. I'm just going to go for the Thunder Shocks now. Now, this would have been a tie game, but my opponent makes a crucial mistake here and throws. If the fast moves are what you need to finish a match off, don't throw the energy, trainers. Please don't. So that's going to be the final battle of this video. Looking at this super spicy gameplay, 4-1, 4-1 in these two sets to hit rank 10, and then I immediately went 1-4 after this because it was my dust set. So, but that's because it was my dust set and I was playing Spice. So that's what it is, and that's going to be it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. We're going to catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.